Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigator. So, I have a microphone with me today, huh? Always testing. Ooh, I don't know, censorship. This is a hair job because today is an incredibly humid day in New York City. I came here because my internet is very slow at home for some reason, especially after I do Zooms. I did Zoom today with Corina, not help having finalized her website. It's looking very exciting. So it's coming next very soon. But basically it's so slow to upload the video. Yesterday it took me literally 5 hours. So I ended up coming here yesterday because it took so forever. And today I'm doing the same because I do not want to wait forever. Okay, until the thing is uploaded. No, 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 no. So so I actually tested the sound and I realized if I speak like this very close, you can hear it works very well. It does. No, it really does. So, but if I put it as others had suggested, if I put it farther out, then you really can't. It's just strange. The sounds is very strange. So let's get to it. There is nothing to discuss today. No. So let's get started. There's a lot to talk about today. So, NATO leaders gather Tuesday for what could be a historic summit or one marred by divisions. So, before I go into a lot of interesting information and controversial information related to what's going on over there in Iran and Israel and the Middle East, as far and because there's a lot of interesting developments that I'd like to discuss. But before we do that, let's start with this because this starts tomorrow. Tomorrow there is a meeting at The Hague. Guys, I should have I should have gone. Imagine. I'm like, hey, Mark, remember me? No, just kidding. But there's a meeting tomorrow at The Hague. I know The Hague. All right. So let's start. NATO leaders gather Tuesday for what could be a historic summit. All right, let's see. The Hague, Netherlands. Trump and NATO counterparts are due together Tuesday for a summit that could unite the world's biggest security organization around a new defense spending pledge or widen divisions among the 32 allies. Just a week ago, things had seemed rosy. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte was optimistic the European members and Canada would commit to invest at least as much of their economic growth on defense as the United States does for the first time. Spain rejected a new NATO target, etc. But let's continue here because there is one, what is obviously Trump's, let's just call it what it is, a belligerent right attitude towards NATO and Europe, and also we have the Iran situation. But let's just discuss here what could happen tomorrow and this week at the NATO meeting. So the question is, what will happen on Tuesday? Oh, and by the way, I have not done the protection, so I am going to start. I would like to ask for protection. Beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I step into it. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. That it create the good and only the good. The good for the good people. The good for the good people. Okay. Well, let's go back to what we're here for. All right. So, NATO meeting on Tuesday. So, what is going to happen tomorrow, given the latest developments regarding Iran and Trump's hatred towards Europe and NATO? I see that he is. Wow. And I see that stuff is going to come out about him and the whole Iran situation. And I'm going to discuss this just after this. But I guess I have to say this because it has come out that Trump knew. So today, Iran attacked the US. This is true, attacked US bases in Qatar. But US knew in advance. Like it was sort of arranged between Iran, Qatar, and the US. Okay. So that's a little awkward, and he's really upset at this. And I see that he's meeting the same people as Macron. La dream little. You are orange little man, huh? I like it. You are so ridiculous. You're ridiculous. No, but really, so he's just really bothered by because Macron made fun of him. He's like, oh, there he is. He's gonna go for peace. He's going to find peace in Iran. And so the same, he's like, they don't respect. They're making fun. So sad for him. No, I'm not sad for him. I'm not sad for him. No. So okay. So then what happens in this meeting there? And I see we're talking, discussing. I see that Trump could, is he going to do that? Leave NATO? I think he would love to say he would because he's in the mode. He's in the mode of burning the world down. But is it? I still think is the U.S. going to leave NATO? I we know what's up with Putin, right? That he didn't like what happened when Trump signaled that he had attacked Iran, even if it was theatrical. And he doesn't like the way things are going. And I think this whole thing with NATO, anytime anyone attacks Europe or NATO, Putin loves it. And by the way, a few days ago, there was the Putin literally said that. He said that he wanted Europe. The whole thing is that the US is going to take Canada and Mexico and Russia taking it up because I want it. Okay? I want it. I take Europe. Okay. And China is going to take Taiwan and other country. So I honestly, my sense is that anything is in this unpredictable, and I see he oddly feels empowered by the whole people he's scared of him as he's saying crazy things. It makes him feel alive. It makes him feel real. So I get the sense that there's a possibility that he could make some crazy statements just to rattle the public and NATO and to kind of entertain Putin. I'm just getting here. I have to tell you this. So I do think it's possible he could just say we're going to leave NATO, but is it really going to happen? I don't know. Okay, I don't think it will, but I just feel like expect the same thing, the same craziness, unpredictability to just make people look at him and make them like, you know what, they're laughing at me. I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them what I really can do. I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna get out of this, okay? So, okay. And just there's something really I see them like when he leaves, it's just very uncomfortable. The same, it's like he left very quickly. Oh, that's right. He was very uncomfortable the same last time that he left and attacked Iran. So what is he gonna do now if he leaves? It's just I see that he like this, oh, and then he's gonna go and tell. Who's he gonna tell? He's gonna tell what? Oh. I think it's close to asking the U.S. military to set it off because he's in a totally insane period. Okay, and I feel like really the brain is collapsing and it's a front lobe. There's a frontal dementia that's what I'm picking up here. That he's just losing control and executive function, and I feel like that's what it is. So let me ask a question: what will be accomplished in this meeting? I see that Europe is connected and more, he's just more and more brazen. Okay. So, so that's what I get for the time being. Okay. So we're gonna look into this as it happens tomorrow. But let me move to the next subject. All right. So early this afternoon, I received a message from Kathy Beal. She sent me this article, and and there was so much going on. I didn't get a chance to reply to her or look into it until very recently. And it is something so shocking, but it is very credible because it comes from a very serious journalist, respected journalist named Barack Ravid. He's Israeli, and he is connected to he is very good. Okay, the things he says are legit. Okay, he's connected to Israeli security services. Like he's not, but he's not a BB apologist necessarily. Okay, he's not. He's just I trust him. Okay, so so this claim, the claim, I'm gonna read it to you because it is so shocking. Basically, that it says that Israel knew that today uh, Iran attacked a U.S. base in Qatar. Earlier this afternoon, I saw that Qatar had closed their airspace. And then subsequently after, Iran attacked U.S. bases in Qatar. So the article claims that Israeli officials told Barak Ravid that the U.S. had organized with Iran and Qatar this attack. Okay. So it brings the term theatrical to a whole new level because it's it is believable. It truly is believable. But can you imagine? Basically, what it is that Iran told Qatar, and Qatar told the U.S. and they said, okay, let Iran do this, get this hit, so then you can leave. And then a few hours, like an hour later, Trump was like, oh, we have a peace deal. And meanwhile, Israel is still attacking Tehran. So let me show you the actual article because it is shocking, and that there's a lot more to corroborate. This is not from, sometimes people say I heard. What they mean is that they saw in another like channel, side channel, whatever. But this is real information. Okay, it's not made up, and there's a lot more that suggests that something very shady is going on. All right, so let's share. Shocking claim accuses Trump of helping stage Iran retaliation coordinated. A former Israeli Defense Forces intelligence officer claimed Monday that Iran's retaliatory attack on the U.S. base in Qatar was carried out with full knowledge of the Trump administration. Barack Ravid stunned CNN's Anderson Cooper when he said the Iranians coordinated this attack with the Qataris and with the knowledge of the Trump administration. Ravid said a source with direct knowledge of the Iranian missile launch on Qatar told him the retaliation was just for show and not meant to cause harm. And if you look up in the news, you could see that after the attack, nobody died. Okay. All right. So I think the evidence for that is that all those press statements were prepared in advance, Ravid said. The Qataris, 5 minutes after the rockets started flying, issued a 500-word statement that was already just waiting to be sent. And as far as I understand from my sources, nobody was surprised by this attack. And it really looks like a coordinated effort to, on the one hand, to allow Iran to retaliate, but on another hand, to close this incident and not allow it to escalate even further. Cooper, reporting from Israel, called Ravid's assertion really remarkable. Ravid reiterated, it definitely looks, again, if you put all the pieces together first, what I hear from a source with direct knowledge, this was coordinated in advance between Iran, Qatar, and it was conveyed to the Trump administration. And the statements from both sides that were prepared in advance, if you put all of this together, it looks like an attempt to try and shut it down here. Each side did its part. Now could be the time for de-escalation going forward with some sort of diplomatic track. Okay, so So I don't know what else to say. All right. I don't know what else to say. It is very disturbing, right? It is very disturbing for many reasons. It's this theater of war, basically. Okay. Now, there's a lot of questions, and I want to make a statement about this too. That people listen to, I really urge you guys to check, double check with news sources because people start listening to some random, like not random, like channels they listen to on YouTube. And this is not, and there's a lot of disinformation, to be honest. Like people claiming that Saudi Arabia did this and that, instead of looking at actual proven information like this. This is not a rumor. This is okay. This is reported by Barack Ravid, so it's a real thing. And so we have to really focus on this. And the thing maybe you don't know this, but Qatar directly, I'm not blaming, I'm just saying this is objective truth, reality. Israel was attacked on October 7th, and Qatar was responsible for financing Hamas. This is not shocking. This was done under the nose of Bibi Netanyahu, who knew about this. And for a while, they actually trusted Hamas to not do, they're like, oh, Hamas is not as bad as the whatever what used to be um, the other one, Palestinian Authority, with what's his name, Arafat. Okay, but anyway, so um so a lot of actual, and not only that, after the October 7th, important leaders of Hamas were living in Qatar openly, obviously supported by Qatar. And Qatar, another thing, if you've done some research on 9/11, one of the, I think it was as a, I don't know if he was the Khalid Muhammad. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the shovel head who was waterboarded. That guy, I think he was either him or a very close person. I don't remember exactly who, but living in Qatar because somebody from the royal family was like protecting him. This is real. Okay, so we have this history with Qatar. Qatar is also the owner of Al Jazeera, which I think is actually really, they have good news for the most part. Okay, um, uh, well, what's going on over there, and then also we have U.S. bases in Qatar. So it's a mix of things, right? It is what it is, and so now we have Trump coordinate, like essentially say, okay, you know what, Iran, I'll let you hit us a little bit, just so you can say on the propaganda that we did something, and they will let you go. And we know again that Putin is close to Iran. Putin wants this very much to end. So here we are, this ridiculous theater. Okay, so let me show you more information here. Let's see. I'll give you. All right, so. Mhm. Okay. Okay, Axios. This is again by Barack Ravid. It was a head fake inside Trump's secret orders to strike Iran. Trump told the world last Thursday he would decide within 2 weeks whether to strike Iran. 48 hours later, B-2 stealth bombers were whizzing through Iranian airspace undetected on a mission to cripple the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. Trump remained open to aborting the mission if a diplomatic window emerged, but it was a smokescreen. Okay, now this is the part that is important here. Between the lines, as with many moments of geopolitical drama during Trump's 2 terms, his aides have gone to great lengths to emphasize an image of total command and decisive leadership. This wasn't a Pentagon operation. This was a Donald Trump operation, a senior administration official told Axios. He came up with a PR. He chose the plans. He chose the date. I mean, imagine the word PR, even with this war situation. Okay. So behind the scenes, all right. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. What is the parts? Okay, that's not the one. I want to show you. This is just a blow by blow account. There's another article that I want to show you because this is, do you see this Barker Vita was the one who broke this story? Is that right? Okay, so here it is. Now, 4 hours ago, Trump calls for ending war after Iran's retaliatory missile attack. Why it matters. Trump's comments on his two social accounts came 3 hours after Iran targeted the airbase in Qatar in retaliation for the unprecedented U.S. strike on its nuclear facilities this weekend. And here it is. This is the part that is very important. Iran was in contact with Qatar ahead of its attack on AI airbase, Al Udeid airbase. And the Trump administration was aware of the threat in advance, a source familiar with the matter told Axios. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. The limited missile strike came after U.S. carried out an extraordinary operation against three Iranian nuclear sites on Saturday. So, so to me, it sounds very strange here. Okay, because right now Israel continues to attack Iran. So, what is to me? And I spoke to somebody who was in Israel. She said it's not shocking to us here, but to us, to me, it was. So, what does this mean? What does this mean of all of this? It means that he is a traitor. That he's. It's all about theater for him. It's all about perception and changing the subject. It's saying he felt that the parade really hurt his ego. Like whatever it was like almost 10 days ago. His birthday was on June 14th, and then you have this the situation. And so he was looking weak. He felt like people mocked him during that meeting, the EU meeting, right? Was it the EU meeting? The one that Macron was there and mocking him. And this was the opportunity for him to feel strong again. And I see that that's right, that Russia really was pushing for this. Remember how first Putin put out the word that Russia's going to be the peacekeeper, peacemaker. And in the end, it was Trump. So was it all? Yes. Yes, it was all for it. It's just so cynical, this whole thing. It's saying it has, I don't feel like it's like it has no teeth. It's like a shark with no teeth. Right? It's not going to hurt. It's, it's very strange to us, but that's what it is. Wow. And then I see that I think Putin intervened here and made this situation happen. So I have a question now. Trump said that there's a ceasefire. What is going to happen here? Okay, let's just see. What about the ceasefire? Is it legit? So the question is the Iran ceasefire legit? No. Meaning, it's saying that it was coordinated, but my question is this: is Israel going to stop attacking Iran, or is this just ceasefire? Meaning the U.S. saying the U.S. is not? No. I see that they want the oil prices to go up. The Putin told them you have to go get them. Is that right? The Strait of, oh, that's right, the Strait of Hormuz. That's right. Nobody can afford it. And okay, so is this ceasefire? So is it? No, I see that Israel is going to continue to attack because Bibi needs to continue the war. But like I've been saying, there's something really is going to go wrong, very wrong, and it will end Bibi's political career, God willing, because it's hard. So much happens, and it's hard to tell. Now, let me show you then the shady Vance's strange comments about the Iran situation. So I have to show you something that I find very interesting, which is the gap between what the White House said and what JD Vance said. That again tells me that there's a lot of coordination behind the scenes, it seems like. So, okay, so let's, oh, you know what? Hmm. Sorry, I need to. All right, open. Okay, I share here. Sharing. Sharing. Vince hint Vince Vance hints uranium was moved after Trump tipped off Tehran. Vice President J.D. Vance raised major questions about the success of the U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities after suggesting that Tehran's near bomb grade uranium was moved before the attacks. Israeli sources were quoted as saying that Iran moved as much as 880 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity from a secure nuclear storage plant in the ancient city of Isfahan. Iran has made no secret that they have protected this material. All right. So, announcing the raids, the president said nuclear sites of Fordo, Isfahan, and Natanz were completely and fully obliterated. Now, and this is the part that is, okay, again, uh, the talking points of the White House. While Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, also maintained on Monday that the administration had a high degree of confidence that Saturday night's bombings took out Iran's uranium stockpile, Vance seemed to suggest the opposite. So now this to me is really so strange and interesting, this part. We are going to work in the coming weeks to ensure that we do something with that fuel. And that's one of the things that we're going to have conversations with the Iranians about. So, okay, when you think about it, I was talking to Corinne about this earlier. We're just having a conversation. It wasn't a video. And I said to her, have you noticed how JD Vance talks about Iran? He's much nicer to Iran than he is to Europe, right? And I'll never forget that in this headset signal scandal texts, he said something like that JD Vance said that, why do we have to keep attacking the Houthis? All we do is help Europe. And that's such a strange comment to make because again, the Houthis really impact the shipping routes over there. It's not necessarily true that it's Europe. It's just a way for him to try to make people not attack Houthis. Why? Because Houthis are associated with Iran. They are Iranian proxies, and he is like, who would say such a thing? Russia. Russia does not want Iran to be hurt. So does it make sense what I'm saying? That in fact, my sense is that JD Vance is telegraphing to Putin that he's doing the work of keeping Russia's assets or interests safe. So, okay, let me ask here. I feel like when you look at the photo that I looked at last time and you look at this, you see very clearly that there's something going on here. Okay, that I feel like JD Vance is trying to differentiate himself and to make the powers that be in Barak see how loyal he is to the regime. Okay, so let me just ask this question. So going back to the main question, why was JD Vance saying something very different from what the White House was saying regarding Iran attacks? Okay, so let's ask. I see him pulling this cards from his chest. Okay, he's saying, I want Putin and the Russians to know that I'm on their side, and that if Trump is misbehaving, I am not. I have not veered from the talking points they told me I was supposed to say. So okay, so that's the story. All right, so that's what I'm getting. And by the way, I I had thought about this, but I hadn't asked. Some people left these comments on my videos asking if some of this Iran movement had to do with some sort of effort to change the subject from Sergio Gore, the Russian aid. And guys, look at the media. They're not talking about this at all. It's such a huge scandal. Right? So it's saying yes, Trump wants to. That doesn't make sense. He wants to divert the story, so he'll do something crazy. And Bibi teaches him. Bibi is really a master at this. Whenever there's trouble, he will create some war situation, some way to change the conversation. Okay, so yes, so it's saying yes, he's telegraphing his this is JD Vance is distancing himself to give a kind of a shout out to his paymasters. Because him and Peter Thiel is really his owner. We know that, right? He really controls JD Vance, and he is the spokesperson for Peter Thiel's interests. So that's what's going on. So wow. So when I see guys, when I was going to ask what's happening tomorrow, the next few days, Trump like, whoa, furious as more stuff comes out about the Iran situation and more comes out about that. Okay, but it's saying expect another volatile week as unflattering stuff comes out about him. I think. Okay. All right. So I think that's okay for today. Yeah, it's okay for today. All right. Okay. I'll talk. I'll talk about other subjects another day tomorrow. Okay. But have a good evening. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.